How will Wi-Fi change our lives? The man on the street, the social commentator, the entrepreneur, the tech-savvy over 50s. We'll be looking at these questions and more in this Wi-Fi edition of Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. It's a Tuesday morning, Morning Barbados on your television. Thank you for inviting us into your home. I am your humble servant, Colin Cunningham. How you doing? Good morning, Cassandra.
Very nice. I'm doing good, Colin. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Here's hoping that you're also doing good and feeling great on this Tuesday. A little rain, not too much. Still a beautiful morning. Feels great once you get up, driving to work at this hour. I'm Cassandra Crawford. Good to be here for you.
You mentioned a little rain, and I'm going to let you get into the top line. But for the second morning straight, I didn't see rain until I got to the licensing authority in the Pine.
Yeah, it was closer to out of the country for me.
I don't understand.
As well.
It's like they get all the rain.
Yeah, the localized showers happen.
I am
in this
moving
area.
to the Pine. I am moving to the Pine. Find me a house in one of those housing.
So you
There
need
was
more
no rain in
rain.
my area.
You need more rain. You like the rain.
Yeah.
Helps you to sleep?
Unlike, what's her name? The lady with the lovely legs. I could stand the rain.
You can stand the rain.
There you go, on my window.
All right, so we'll talk some more about that stuff after the top lines and, of course, newspaper headlines. In our headlines this morning, Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite says a number of challenges stand in the way of legislation being drafted in the shortest possible time. He highlighted some of the areas of concern during the opening ceremony of a three-day CARICOM legislative drafting seminar at the Amaryllis Hotel. The Attorney General says legislative drafters are a vital component of any government and must be treated accordingly. A South Coast hotel has been sold and is earmarked for a multi-million-dollar upgrade. It's the Alamanda Beach Hotel in Hastings, Christchurch, which has been bought by Harlequin Hotels and Resorts. In other local news, some of the best human resources practices in Barbados will be the focus of attention at a panel discussion tomorrow. It will be held at the Marriott Courtyard, Hastings, Christchurch. The panelists will be the winners of the Barbados Best Employers program organized by Catalyst Caribbean. And in news out of the region, continuing our look at headlines, the problem of unkept lots is a major concern in Barbados and even more so in the St. Michael Northeast constituency. Chairman of that constituency, Council Percy Murrell, says when people dump on these unused open areas, they not only create an eyesore, but it's very unhygienic. We'll have details to those stories and certainly more, including a look at the region in our news at 7 o'clock. But right now, we take a look at what's making headlines in the newspapers, starting with the International Herald Tribune.
Yes, and we go to Tripoli, where Colonel Muammar al-Gaddafi remained at large, and loyalist forces still held pockets of the city, stubbornly resisting the rebels' efforts to establish full control. After their speedy advance into the capital appeared to signal the end of the Libyan leader 40 years in power. Foreign journalists who drove through parts of Tripoli yesterday said it was premature to conclude the rebel forces were in control. And a rebel fighter told Al Jazeera television that pro-Gaddafi forces still controlled 15 to 20% of the city. Meanwhile, 3 months after authorizing Dominic Strauss-Kahn's swift indictment after his arrest on sexual assault charges, the district attorney in New York, Borough of Manhattan, has decided to ask a judge to dismiss the case. This is according to a person briefed on the matter. We will, of course, be following that story because there is the threat of civil action by the accuser to Strauss-Kahn. We come home now, and it's Coastal Zone Unit warning of danger to the tourism industry. And this is because of the seaweed threat. And there's a picture of a beach in Barbados, and you probably will not recognize it from this picture. I certainly can. Look at that. It's covered in that brown, mushy stuff. Well, when I was growing up, I used to drink sea moss, but that would be a whole lot to drink right there. I'm telling you, you'd have to be boiling all year long. Masses of Sargassum, brown seaweed that has been washing up on the Barbados shores within recent weeks could pose a threat to the vital tourism industry sea creatures such as turtles. On the back page, Trinidad getting tough after weekend of 11 killings. War on bandits is the headline. Attorney General Anand Ramlogan yesterday declared war on the criminal element in that country. I hope they're going to treat it like a war because, you know, let's not make it a war of words. In the Advocate, the AG highlights the work of drafters. It must be made plain to government ministries the detailed work that is required of legislative drafters who, as a result, cannot simply produce at their say-so. So give them some time. Sagicor rebounds despite challenging environment. Also on the front page. On the back, another look at the seaweed dilemma. That's agassum seaweed providing a natural habitat for some species, including marine turtles, but the proliferation of the seaweed in few parts of the country causing some problems, not only for the turtles, but for residents also. And I understand we're going to go international now.
Yes, we're going to be taking a look, taking in some footage from CNN of what's happening around the Gaddafi compound.
And everyone was pointing at this white armoured Land Cruiser outside saying, safe, he's in there, he's in there. So I walked up to the Land Cruiser, I knocked on the door because it was about to drive off. You know, I knocked on the door, it opened up and I said, safe, I need to see you with my own eyes. And I leaned in, I turned on the light on the ceiling of in the back seat of this Land Cruiser, and there he was. So I took a photograph of him. I asked him about where his father was. He said all of his family are in Tripoli. He then went on to say that, you know, it was all a trick, the rebels coming into Tripoli, that we've now broken their backbone and we've given them a hard time. He then invited me to get into the car and to drive around Tripoli so he could prove how, you know, how much it was under the government's control. But before I had a chance to do that, the door closed and it drove off. But it was quite incredible because, I mean, as we've been discussing, you know, we all thought the rebels had reported. The ICC, the International Criminal Court in The Hague, had confirmed, we believed, that he was in the custody of the rebels, but he's not. He's free and he's driving around Tripoli. One correspondent who's been here much longer than me said that, you know, the thing is about Libya, the trouble is with reporting it, is that kind of lying is the national sport. Obviously, it was a little tongue-in-cheek, but, you know, the fact is both sides in this conflict have been, you know, spinning us a line. Both sides have been exaggerating. Both sides have been telling us untruths. And it's been very difficult all along for the past 6 months. It's been very difficult sort of picking through that and trying to get to the truth or as close to it as we can. And this was another, you know, really vivid example of that.
All right, there you have it, an update of what's going on around the Gaddafi camp in Libya. Certainly a lot of stuff going on there, and Matthew Chance doing that report. They feel like they're being fed lines.
Yeah, it's interesting that line he said, the national pastime is to feed people lies. But yeah, what has happened is that yesterday there were reports that 2 of Gaddafi's sons were captured. Last night apparently one of them was driving around Tripoli and telling the reporters that it was all a trick. They allowed the rebels to come in so they could crush them. But again, no one is totally sure what's happening. You know?
They may very well be grabbing at straws, trying to still maintain some kind of strong presence. And I suppose it's all a part of the buzz they're trying to create.
Yeah, and as we saw in the International Herald Tribune, one of the rebel fighters was supposed to have told Al Jazeera that the loyalists to Gaddafi still control about 15 to 20% of the city. So it's by no means captured Tripoli, but I don't know, we will finally sometime get an idea of what's happening there.
There's still no word of where he is?
No word yet of where he is. He's keeping a low profile.
Very low profile.
His sons can go out and gallivant, but he's just chilling.
Can't do that. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess he's going to be they're going to be taking whatever messages he needs conveyed to the public. We will continue to update you on that. But as Colin said in the opening, it's Wi-Fi Tuesday. But of course, you know, there's a major race meet coming up at Bushy Park as well. So we look forward to hearing about the VIP Pavilion. Colin?
Yeah, we always like to get those guys to come in and tell us how they're trying to better themselves from the last event. I think they've got to the plateau, though. We'll see, you know. What else can they add?
What can they possibly do, right?
We'll see.
Yes, we will. One of the things I would like to share before we go to a break, this is an immediate update, a release for you from Caribbean Airlines. This is, of course, based on today, August 22nd. I believe today is August. No, it's 23rd, but this is something that's critical for today as well. To date, all Caribbean Airlines flights are operating as scheduled. Currently, Caribbean Airlines has been advised that today passengers traveling to the airport are asked to carry 2 forms of photo ID and their travel itinerary. Passengers arriving in Trinidad and Tobago must keep all travel documents, including boarding tickets. Customers should also review the website for regular updates at www.caribbean-airlines.com for more information. So that's just a little something for you.
Yeah, and just a couple hours after Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar announced the state of emergency in Trinidad, police shot and killed 2 of 3 armed bandits in Arima yesterday. So I guess that war on the bandits is in...
Not words. That's not just words.
For real. All right, so we are going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to find out what is in the VIP pavilion. Let's see how they can top themselves this time around. We'll be right back.
Morning, Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up.